Now, you've probably heard of a group called the Westboro Baptist Church. This is a very nutty group from the United States who became famous through documentaries done in the late 90s and early 2000s. Why, in part, did they become famous? Because they protested people's funerals.
God hates America.
Phelps and his followers believe God punishes America for tolerating homosexuals. They repeatedly picket soldiers' funerals, carrying signs like, "Thank God for dead soldiers."
Sick, right? Thank goodness nothing like this happens in Australia. Well, I've got some breaking news for you tonight. There is a plan to have a protest at a funeral in Australia. The funeral this week of George Pell in Sydney. Apparently, hundreds of people are set to protest peacefully out the front of St Mary's Cathedral. This is the call to arms that exists on the group's Facebook page. And some quotes of the people responsible for this post and this protest have been given to, among others, surprise, surprise, The Guardian. In terms of protesting him, importantly, what we see from politicians and the press is a chorus of mourning for this man. Tony Abbott called him a saint of our times, an inspiration for the ages. John Howard said he should never have been charged, let alone convicted. It goes on. When this is the response of official society and the political elite, it is really important that progressive forces for justice, make their voices heard. Now, I think this is a line that no one should cross. The idea of picketing and protesting in any way, shape or form a funeral is beneath anyone who does that protesting. Now also, to these groups, you won. Same-sex marriage became legalised in the country. There's an endless conversation about moving forward with LGBT rights. What exactly is to be achieved here? Now, I'm completely aware of people who, to this day, remain deeply affected by things like the Melbourne solution. I'm completely aware of the institutional response and failure to traumas over a long period of time. But the idea that we're going to start picketing people's funerals is a line that I don't believe reasonable Australians want anyone to cross. No matter what trauma was in your past, no matter what difficulties you had with the person who has now passed away, it's just not the way we do things. And I repeat, when it comes to all the big political fights, you won. Sydney's about to have a month-long celebration of World Pride, where literally taxpayers' money goes into making sure that events like the Mardi Gras that goes for a month becomes this massive international event. Public consciousness has well and truly changed. And I understand that you find the views of George Pell and Christian conservatives to be offensive. But I repeat, you won. The idea of protesting a funeral in Australia is wrong, regardless of whom is being buried or who is doing the protesting. Keen to know what you think? Jump onto the Facebook page, because I think we all might be in one, regardless of whether you are the most staunch Catholic or the most progressive person as part of the LGBT rights movement. Police have turned around and said that they're going to try to stop it. And even if they do, remember, in Sydney, there's plenty of examples where they just ignore it anyway. So wait and see what happens there in the next little while.